Hi, take a look at these fish. These are a special genetically engineered fluorescent fish that can be found in your local pet store. Now, they can be made in several colors, blue, yellow, red. My name is Nauman Zia, and I'm here to inform our listeners of the aspects of the advancements and usefulness of genetic engineering. For example, you can use genetic engineering to modify plants to make a more resilient strain to insects. So, Vaughan Hilder and Donald Balter from the Department of Biological Sciences in Durham University state that transgenic plants are a superior form of pesticide resistance. What they go on to talk about is a strain called Bt toxin. Now, Bt toxin is found in over 90% of pesticides commercially available. What they decided to do was they took this Bt toxin and injected it directly into the genome of these plants, thus resulting in a more resilient strain to insects. We will now turn to genetic engineering's environmental benefits. Now, the main genetic engineering environmental benefits is bioremediation. By that, I mean cleaning up toxic spills, the BP oil spills. There were actual bacteria that were used to eat those oils and help clean it up. So, Obedima C. Ezazika, a master's in environmental management at Yale, and his partner Peter Singer defined microbial bioremediation as the process of which microorganisms degrade toxic bacteria and hazard compounds into non-toxic substances. So, Ezazika makes a good point. He basically talks about the fact that these microbes are found in nature. They can eat some toxins and some oils, but none of them can eat all toxins and all oils. And that it's imperative that we use genetic engineering to create a microbe that can eat away all the toxins available in the planet, so we can use it for better purposes of environmental cleanup. This takes me to my next example. Microbiologist and genetic engineer Ananda Chakrabarty created the first genetically engineered microbe in 1971. Now, what Ananda Chakrabarty did was he took 4 plasmids of oil degrading enzymes and mixed it into one resilient strain. Now, this strain he formed a microbe out of. So this microbe was able to degrade oil 10 to 100 times faster than any non-genetically engineered microbe that was present in nature. He tried commercializing this. Many companies showed interest. However, one of the issues were regulations and public fear that if they were to release these microbes out into the public, that it may not be able to be contained. And because of the containment fear, it was not commercialized. However, the technology was a breakthrough, and it shows that genetic engineering was progressing. We now move towards medical aspects. So genetic engineering can be used for medical care, and biochemist and physicist Walter Gilbert explained that once human DNA was able to be put into a bacteria to obtain the protein, the very first protein thought of was insulin. Now, insulin is a very important drug. It's used to treat diabetic patients, and up until that time, until we were able to create insulin with genetic engineering, the doctors would prescribe cow and pig insulin. Now, scientists thought that cow and pig insulin were not 100% effective because they were in fact a different species insulin, and that by using human insulin, they may be a more better fit. Also, there was a shortage issue, which basically there wasn't enough insulin for everybody. So after genetic engineering, we were able to make clone our own insulin, and we had nearly identical human insulin, which was able to fit better biologically, and the shortage problem was solved. Now, I would like to discuss one more hormone that we can create with genetic engineering, which is HGH, human growth hormone. Now, Doctor of Medicine Franco Salamone and his group noticed that the human growth hormone, they made a double-blind placebo-controlled trial, and they basically had 24 people, and they monitored them for 6 months. The half of them that were given the HGH hormone that was genetically engineered, they showed an increase in height by a few inches, as opposed to the other half that were not given it. So, to sum up what we covered, genetic engineering has tremendous benefits in terms of crop resistance, bioremediation, and in terms of medical aspects. We can clone hormones that we never thought were possible before. Now, It's been only over 50 years when genetic engineering took place. So it's a relatively new field, and I'm sure that the greatest discovery is yet to come. Now, I thank you for listening to my speech, and I would like to ask you, are there any questions you guys have?
Is there any negative side effects for the GMO plants?
The what?
Like GMO plants?
GMO negative side effects?
Mm-hmm.
There are controversial debates on GMOs, and so the positive side is that you're going to have a more resistant like crop, but the negative side is that if we ingest these crops, that we possibly might be immune to the antibodies that we are putting inside these genomes. So the solution to that is or these guys, they mainly use they mainly use chemicals that are not used in medications for humans. That way we do not get immune to the antibodies. But yeah, there are negative side effects.
I also have a question.
Yeah.
So, the bioreminiscent material that you talked about, are they commercially available right now? Like, if somebody wants to buy them?
So at the time where Chakrabarty made the first microbe, there was public fear that you can't contain it, and there still is very strict regulations and very, very difficult. There's a very difficult process to getting these microbes on the market. But there are at this day there are a few select companies that do sell bioremediation products, or they do it for you. So yeah.